Hello, and what is going on, everybody? It is Master of the TDS, and I am joined by my lovely wife,
WritingRaven.
And we're back for another episode of Psycho-Synopsis.
Indeed!
The segment where we summarize all the Psycho for you. Just a scattering of topics throughout the week, all summarized into one neat little package for you to enjoy and consume at your leisure.
You are welcome.
Yeah, so we got a couple topics to discuss today, so without further ado,
let us bring in the first client, the Rising of the Shield Hero.
The return of Naofumi, Raphtalia, Philo, and their adventures across the sword and sorcery world of Rising of the Shield Hero is just under a month away.
Woohoo!
So, if you guys don't already know, my wife and I are very big fans of this anime. I would say it's probably my favorite anime of all time.
Oh, absolutely. It's your favorite anime of all time.
So, apparently it's coming out April 6th, I believe. It's going to be broadcast in Japanese. I think they're also going to do a simultaneous,
English dub
on Crunchyroll. We'll have to wait and see. My wife and I do like to consume our anime with English dub because by the end of the day, we're just too tired to read subtitles and stuff. I know some people disagree with that, and that's okay.
But we work.
This is just a very, very good show. I'm a little concerned because they postponed it. It was supposed to be out a lot sooner.
Yeah, I think October.
And they kind of postponed it and didn't really give a reason, which concerns me because a lot of mainstream media blogs and stuff like that were going after this show because people liked it, so they, of course, had to get rid of it. So I really hope they didn't, bow to the mob and they just actually made a good show. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Regardless, I am excited for this.
So am I.
And again, I have a little hesitation because of what I've heard, with the postponing of it, but it looks good, it seems good, it was really great anime, and I'm hoping it, holds true.
I am the same.
But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but hopefully we will be pleasantly surprised, or we will...
Be thoroughly disappointed?
I hope not.
Yeah, they will not survive your wrath if that's the case.
I'm not even gonna think that. I'm just gonna say, I'm optimistic about this one, I'm excited for it, and hopefully I won't get burned.
Agreed. Shall we move on? Our next client is Halo, the TV series.
The red flags continue to fly for Paramount Plus's upcoming Halo series, as in a recent interview, showrunner Stephen Kane has revealed that despite penning over 265 drafts of the live-action adaptation, he and the writing team did not look at or talk about the original games in any capacity.
And that is just peak stupidity.
You have a treasure trove with the games. Now, let's be fair here. I'm going to say this outright. I don't play Halo. I did play Halo a little bit when I was in high school.
I've seen my brothers play it, but I personally have not. I suck at first-person shooters.
Yeah, so we're not as knowledgeable, but even we can know that this is not smart.
No, if you're making something based on a video game, if you don't have time to play the game yourself, you at least are going to research the lore or look through or watch someone else's playthrough before you do anything with the script.
They are deciding of their own volition that their vision of what the show was going to be did not fit the parameters of the game or whatever, so they just decided not to care about it.
Like everything else these days.
Let's make this clear. If your vision of the world you are adapting doesn't fit the world that already exists, you shouldn't be hired. An adaptation is taking existing things and making it into something else. You're adapting it to the screen. You're going to tell me that you decided that your vision and the vision of the people that you have with you was so different that you couldn't go by the games, you couldn't be bothered to even research them. That already is a huge red flag and tells pretty much everybody who was going to watch this show, which primarily were the people who play the game, not to watch.
Exactly. When I do stuff that's based on video games, I always make sure to do my research.
It's not that hard, and if they didn't want to play the game, the cutscenes are available online to watch.
Cinematic cutscenes exist for every game on YouTube. It lets you skip through the gameplay and just get the basic story.
Even that would have been better than this, but of course they have to come out and tell us how it's not going to be the same and they have to make it a whole different timeline and whatever. And guess what?
What?
Basically, they decided to make it like The Mandalorian.
Ugh.
and it didn't go over well. The critic reviews are already coming in. It's, I believe, sitting at a
59% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, so, and the worst part of this is that it was 10 million per episode, and there were 9 episodes.
So they basically wasted $90 million on something that took over 260 drafts to write.
265 drafts is nuts.
That's unheard of.
The fact that you wrote that many drafts and still managed to get it wrong, the only thing I can give you is an applause for your accomplishment of your extreme stupidity.
Don't insult extreme stupidity.
No, that's literally what it is. You spent 265 drafts that you didn't agree with, and then you took the one that was probably the worst. How about this? Let's start this new trend. You listening, people? Here's a new trend. If the people don't know or respect the lore of what's being adapted, they shouldn't be hired.
Why do they hire people who know nothing about the franchise?
Because it's not about the franchise anymore, it's about the platform. This is what they're going to do with this. They're going to push all this other stuff, that the agendas that they want to push, and this is what they're using for it. But I'll tell you, coming right out and saying this is literally going to be something that turns off fans already from the get-go. So you already made your show dead on arrival.
And has it already been renewed for a second season?
Yes, it has. They already renewed it for a second season, so...
Our prediction, basically, they're going to promote the girl, the girl's going to become the new Master Chief, and then they're going to focus the entire second season on the female Master Chief.
Yeah, that way they can kind of basically say, well, you got to know Master Chief in the first season, now we have a new Master Chief, and the just enough time you're going to be forced to spend with her so that you'll like her.
No!
If you wanted to make a movie about a soldier with no memory who gets replaced by a woman, don't call it Halo. Oh, wait. You can't do that because that would mean no one would watch it because they would know it was crap. So you need to take the property and just adapt your fan fiction to this property and just slap that label on it, right?
I mean, as soon as people heard that Master Chief was going to be taking off his helmet, they already said, no, we're not watching.
I don't think the show's going to do well. It's already been seeing like bad reviews from the critics, and the critics are usually very pro this kind of stuff. In this case, they don't seem to have different opinions. Even people who are reviewing it with like positive reviews still say it's not that good.
Yeah, like it's generic sci-fi.
I think one person even compared it to being in a work meeting.
Oof, yeah, that's bad.
So, yeah, we'll get to see when it does actually fully come out, and we'll see how bad it is.
Oh boy.
We're not going to watch it, mind you.
Oh no.
But we'll keep our ears to the ground.
Sure. Moving on. And we have Tom Taylor. Again.
Well, Tom Taylor and DC Comics. DC Comics is going all in on their retconning of Batman sidekick and Robin, Tim Drake, as they are now using the character as part of their virtue signal for what they're calling DC's 2022 Pride celebration. And as you can see, I photoshopped it so that it shows the Superman is dropping a pie on Tom Taylor's head because I felt like it.
If only that could actually happen. It would be an improvement.
One day you'll unblock me, Tom, and it'll be the day that you really, really regret doing so.
His day of reckoning?
I think he already has to reckon with the fact that nobody's buying his book and he's deflecting. Obviously, June is coming up, so Pride Month is becoming a thing.
Ugh.
Most of this is just more of a virtue thing so they can put out all those rainbows and stuff so they can get people's money, which, to be fair, most of these people don't buy books, don't buy comics, and so you're wasting your time. The sales have clearly shown, and this is just objective fact here, we're not hating on anybody. The sales have shown that these comics do not do well.
Not at all.
They don't. And I'm sorry if you don't like to hear that, but that's the objective fact of the matter. Try and spin it all you want, but that is what the data shows.
The numbers do not lie.
They continue to push this kind of stuff, and what's annoying about this is they go back and change characters rather than make new ones, because they know that if they made new ones, no one would care.
Exactly. No one cares about new characters, unless they're done well.
But think about that. If a character needs to be changed because you're not confident in creating a brand new character because you know people will not read it, then what your brilliant idea to fix that is to take a character that was already established, change them because you're not confident in your ability, and you also already know that even if you made a new character, no one would buy it. If you already know that changing and making a new character no one would buy, then you're deciding, let's just change this so that we'll get some sales, and then it bumps up a bit and then goes straight down the toilet.
Pretty much. That's really all it's good for.
And you can see Superman and Lois holding up a pride flag with Superman symbol on it.
That's just weird.
It is weird. And I'm sorry, look, we have nothing against people in the LGBTQ community.
No, we don't.
But we think that this constant pandering to them is not actually helping. It is simply causing more division, more pointing out stuff, and making people less likely to be tolerant. Mm-hmm. And we're not getting into the whole politics of it. We could sit here for a week on that. But that's just the objective fact is these books aren't selling well. They should make new characters instead of changing these characters. And it's weird what they've been doing. They kind of like force these characters to fit molds that they create rather than create new ones of their own because they know they lack the ability or the creativity to actually do so.
What he said.
But yeah, hey Tom, I know you're promoting your Superman stuff again. How's that going for you? Oh wait, that's right. Nobody's buying your book.
Wah, wah.
It's okay though. When they need a character change to be gay, they'll know where to call you, right? Sure you don't have much other business, huh?
It seems to be all he's good for.
That's true.
Shall we move on? Next in our waiting room is Buzz Lightyear.
You are a sad, strange little man. A new report claims that the Walt Disney Company and Pixar will include a gay relationship in their upcoming Lightyear film.
That's hardly a surprise, though.
We have nothing against gay relationships or whatever.
As we said.
Why even announce this? Just do it.
There's really no need to make such a big deal over it.
Well, yes it is, because they want to use it as a marketing point. You see, that's what people don't understand, and that's why people don't like it, is because no one has a problem with these kind of relationships. I mean, I'm sure there are people who do, but most people don't. It's when you point it out and make a big fuss over it, and then it's like a 2-second scene that you cut out for China when you actually send it over there. It's hypocritical, it's stupid, it's wrong, and it's not helpful. You want to help? Just put it in and make it natural. Isn't that what you want? You want it to be natural. So yes, continue to point it out and make a huge fuss about it as a marketing point, which doesn't help your films, by the way.
It actually does the exact opposite of marketing.
It gets people on Twitter to scream and shout about it, but guess what? Those people on Twitter don't go to the films, buy the toys, buy the merch. This is shown and backed up by data over many, many years. So you're wasting your time, and you're only doing it to kind of pander to these people and say, look what we're doing here. Look, we're making a big fuss. But if you really wanted to help them, what you would do is you would just do it without saying anything so people wouldn't make a fuss out of it and it would become normalized, which is apparently what you seem to want to do, but yet you completely do the opposite. So not only are you stupid, you're hypocrites, which we already knew.
Pretty much. I mean, it is Disney.
It's not Tim Allen. Not interested.
Yeah, they really should have brought back Tim Allen, but they probably couldn't because reasons.
Look, that's it. That's the reason I won't go see it. I wasn't interested, and I'm not interested.
Same. No Tim Allen, no Buzz Lightyear.
To infinity, and oh wait, there goes our box office sales. It's okay. It's okay. They're just falling with style.
That's a good one. Moving on. Our next client is Ms. Marvel.
Not again. Never again. The first trailer for Ms. Marvel's upcoming Disney Plus series has officially confirmed that Marvel's favorite diverse legacy character, Kamala Khan, will receive a massive retcon to her power set when she makes her official leap to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, apparently they're gonna change her powers from stretchy hands to magic gauntlets, and magic is against Islamic religion.
Yes, but that's a whole side point. But regardless, they basically made her Green Lantern.
Yeah, which is stupid.
We saw the trailer. It's not that interesting.
It feels like a cheesy teen romance movie, and we already have too many of those, most of which are based on Wattpad stories.
Here's the thing. You can change the character all you want, and I'm sure you'll make her more likable in the TV show, because you need to. I'm still not interested. I do not like this character. I've read the comics. She is not interesting.
Not at all, and you still won't let us burn the comic.
And I think what's funny is that these changes are getting people angry. On the first hand, people who didn't know about the character aren't any more interested. And the people who did know the character are angry because you've changed the powers that they liked to ones they didn't like for the people who you want to kind of appeal to who didn't care about the character to begin with.
Either way, her original power set was just stupid.
Embiggen! Look, I have giant fists, like me.
Embiggen isn't even a word!
Doesn't matter, they made it a word.
I hate it when they do that.
But yeah, they're making her have energy projection powers, and the trailer is not very good. They're showing her costume or whatever. It's just not interesting.
No.
I've read the comics. The comics weren't interesting either. I mean, good luck with that. I predict that it will get some decent views because they will only announce if it does get decent views, not if it gets bad views, because that's how Disney runs.
Will they announce if it gets any views?
I don't care.
Me neither.
The people who scream about this on Twitter don't actually read the comics and don't actually care. And you're pandering to them, and you're also pandering to like mainstream audiences by changing her powers because her original powers were stupid. But here's the thing. If you had done that from the get-go, she would have been a more desirable character.
Yeah, you guys are dumb.
That, and also, it's not just about her powers. It's about her personality. You made it so much about her personality and romance and stuff. That's not what people read comic books for.
If they wanted to read romance, they would read romance.
It's just not an interesting thing for me.
Nor for me.
Marvel has been pushing this character over and over and over, and it continues to fail.
No kidding.
And instead of reflecting and wondering why this fails, they've decided to call people who don't like it all names that they always do. And now they're changing the character, but I thought she was perfect the way she is, which you're now admitting that she was flawed and not good. But even then, I'm not interested in this character.
Nor I.
I don't care if you turn her into a 10-foot tall Tyrannosaurus Rex. It will still not interest me because the character remains the same. When you tarnish a character, it doesn't matter who plays the role, it becomes tarnished.
Seriously.
Captain Marvel is a very good example of this.
When she was Ms. Marvel, she was interesting. And then she was promoted to captain and became a plank of wood.
You've tarnished the name and the brand, and now you're trying to shove this character in when there were plenty of other ones much better and way more interesting, but you push this one because diversity and inclusion, and guess what?
What?
Diversity and inclusion is not something that takes the place of an actual plot and character.
How long until they finally learn that?
They won't, because they know this already, but they don't care.
Moving on, our next client is Sana Amanat.
Okay, so speaking of Miss Marvel, a relatively recent rumor claims that Marvel Comics Vice President of Content and Character Development, Sana Amanat, has been fired from the company.
No wonder, because if she was the vice president of content and character development, she really failed at the job.
As you see, there's her character. Signs you're about to be fired. It says dismissed. Now, Sana Amanat made Ms. Marvel. She inserted this character as a self-insert character because it's how she identifies. The funniest thing is, this rumor starts to come out and suddenly, look, distraction Ms. Marvel trailer.
That seems suspicious.
Now, we don't have any confirmed sources of this. This is just a rumor that's been going around, but I think it's very funny and ironic, but also something that I could possibly see being true because of the activity or lack of activity of Sana Amanat on Twitter, which she's back now because people were asking where she was. They can't fire her. First off, the reasons they want to fire her, the allegations are quite severe.
Oh yes, we will not go into those here.
If you'd like to look into that more, you can do your own research, but basically, they're not good. If a man did the same thing, they'd be out in 2 seconds.
But because she's a woman, apparently she gets a free pass.
It's not just that. It's because the character that she's designed, that they've made the poster child of Marvel Comics now, is Ms. Marvel. And they have the TV show coming out right now. This has now become the face of Marvel, so you can't get rid of the face of Marvel. Imagine if these allegations came out. It's like, we're making this show. Oh, by the way, we're kicking the person who made the character out because they did all this terrible stuff. But look, watch the show.
Okay.
Nice job, Marvel. Nice job. It's amusing that this is going around. Whether it's true or not, we cannot confirm, so take this with a grain of salt, but we have it from various sources that this is occurring, and we will never know because even if it is true, they're not going to let us find out.
Of course not.
Maybe this will be confirmed at some point, but for now, all we have to go on is rumors.
And moving on to our last client of the day, The Mandalorian.
A relatively recent rumor for the upcoming 3rd season of The Mandalorian claims that Baby Yoda, aka Grogu, will use IG-11 as a mech suit.
That just sounds hilarious.
I like my job with the image.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Giant Grogu smash!
Seriously, that just sounds so dumb. Isn't IG-11 an assassin droid?
Yes, but he was destroyed. Partially, I believe, in the 2nd season. And what I've heard is they're planning to make him like a mech suit where it's going to be like his own Mandalorian armor.
What?
I don't know. This is not confirmed. This is a rumor, again. But it's quite funny, and it gave me an opportunity to do this. Let's be honest here. My wife and I have not watched the 2nd season of The Mandalorian.
Nor do we plan to.
We're not going to watch the 3rd season.
Nor do we plan to.
We're not going to watch the Book of Boba Fett. We're not going to watch Obi-Wan. We're poured on what we hear. But that's basically the extent of it. We're going to report on what we hear, and that's it. So we're hearing this rumor, and it was too funny not to point out. I think would be very, very silly, but maybe they can pull it off.
I mean, what would he's still technically a baby, so what would he even do with a mech suit? Shoot laser beams and then destroy everything because he doesn't know how to aim?
He would use it to harvest frogs.
Can't he just use the Force to do that?
I don't know.
Oh, this is just weird.
It is weird. If it turns out to be true, we'll have a good laugh about it.
Oh, absolutely.
And it'll give me another excuse to make another mech Grogu. Creative bankruptcy much?
No kidding.
And how much more can you do with the Mandalorian and Baby Grogu? Like, what else are you gonna do?
Make more toys?
The whole point was to, have him be a super important character and that they're trying to deliver him to a Jedi, and they do, and then it's like, oh, by the way, Book of Boba Fett means come back now.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't want to get it. And you know what?
What?
Let them have Iron Grogu if they want.
Iron Grogu. That sounds hilarious.
Smash, you Mandalorian, smash! But yeah, just a funny rumor out there. If it is true, we'll laugh. If not, it's still fun to laugh at right now.
Oh, absolutely. Let's move on. And with that being our last client of the day, it is time to reveal the diagnosis of the week.
So the diagnosis of the week is one we did before, but it's fitting for this week.
Do tell.
So the diagnosis for this week is histrionic personality disorder.
Please explain.
Histrionic personality disorder is a pattern of emotionally attentive-seeking behaviors, and it's basically being in uncomfortable situations, rapidly shifting expressions of emotions, moods, very easy to be suggestible, stuff like that, considers relationships more intimate. The idea here is that it's basically someone who does all this kind of stuff to draw attention to themselves, to make a big statement, but is also very easy to just turn on a dime. So they are very, very suggestible, so they'll kind of go with the new thing, and they consider the relationships more intimate when they actually are. So for example, they consider that everybody loves Miss Marvel. No, we don't. Everybody loves Buzz Lightyear. No, we don't. It's the kind of thing that they're basically trying to appeal to people with more physical appearances, kind of like a nice paint job. Look, we have the thing you like. But it turns out that underneath that paint job, it was never the thing that we wanted. So that's kind of what they do here. So I feel like it's a very good diagnosis for this week, considering it's pretty much what they're doing with all this kind of stuff. Look, we fixed Miss Marvel. Do you like her now? Look, you were mad at us. We gave Buzz Lightyear a gay relationship thing. Do you like us now? It's basically a coat of shiny paint over something that we don't want to trick us to get it. And then they also get angry and uncomfortable when you challenge them, so they kind of fight back. That's why I feel this is a good diagnosis for this week.
I agree.
And now we move on to the remedy of the week.
And this week we will be sending you to Raging Rhino, a Star Wars fan in Australia, makes a lot of Star Wars content. So since we ended off on Star Wars, if anyone's going to be making a video about Mecha Grogu, it'll probably be this guy.
Yeah, so head on over there. He's a great guy, and he does cover all the Star Wars stuff that we only touch on, basically.
Yes.
So head on over there, grab your lightsabers, your blasters, your Mandalorian armor, your Mecha Grogus, whatever you want. And head on over there and tell him
that Gothic Therapy referred you.
Indeed. That's all we have for this week. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and also make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe with notifications on so you do not miss your weekly therapy session.
Or you will be charged.
Remember, if you subscribe, the first session is free.
You can also find links to all of our socials, our merch, and our Discord called The Clinic in the description below.
So check us out there, and that's all we have for this week. Stay tuned for a Imaginalysis and Raven Raves coming later this week. Thank you for being patient, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Gothic Therapy, out.